welcome back to the class, everyone. My name is Calvin, and I love mods. I also love to make videos on mods, but one of the things that happens every single time I do is I get comments like this, and this, and this, always wanting to know, when do we upgrade the mod, and when do we sell the mod? And well, today's the day. So that is right, we are going to finally be addressing how I myself go about my mod management. And today our lovely assistant, Night Sister Zombie, will be helping us out with that, as we have conveniently put on her one of each every type of mod. Now, just to reiterate, the whole purpose of today's video is to show when you get speed as a secondary in a mod, you want to either sell or you want to upgrade. That's the whole point. We're not going to be going into a lot of the niche topics like percent offense, percent defense, how that incorporates into things. I realize they are important, but for today, we're going to be talking about empty speed mods, so to speak. So first off, let's just start off with our gray mod and we'll just work our way down. My rule for a gray mod that has speed as a secondary is that it gets kept and it gets upgraded. I don't care if this is a 5, if this is a 4, or if this is 3 speed right here in the corner. If it has any amount of speed, to me, it is worth upgrading, because the fact that it has one of them as a potential secondary, I can load that up. Even if they're all crappy hits, or maybe even at 4 or 5, it can still turn out to be a 17 or an 18 speed mod. And even my roster at a very large position, which I guess that might make it a little bit more advantageous to have more mods, but I can still use any mod at all that hits 15 speed. Now 15 speed might not be the goal overall, but any mod that can hit that I'm gonna want to keep, so I will be upgrading this mod. Actually, let's upgrade it right now. Let's see what we want to do with it. We did not get the speed, so right now, honestly, I would probably just sell this mod, because for me it doesn't meet the criteria based off of speed alone to continue with it, because it's already starting to get a high percentage of flat stats, and I'm just going to keep sinking resources into a mod that isn't ultimately probably going to get me anywhere. So definitely, if it's gray and it has speed as a secondary, I always keep it. I always upgrade it. There are, again, other factors that can weigh into that, like the primary, the set and stuff, but we're going to be primarily talking about the speed here. Next up, this is another example of a mod that I will not be upgrading. For me, this is already a sell. You can see that I was trying to do with it what we just did with our gray mod is I saw it had 3 speed, I saw that it had potential. I was like, all right, I will slice this up once, I will give it a shot. If it can hit, and my kind of magic number out there is 7 speed, if it can hit 7 speed by green, I will keep taking it higher. And I realize those are bad hits, but even with those being bad hits, it still has potential to get up there into that 20 speed area. Is it likely? Probably not as much as it would be on, say a 10 speed with the 2 hits, but you have to roll as many mods as possible to be able to get as much speed as possible. So that is kind of the goal here. It didn't hit 7, so for me, this is not an upgrade. We are going to leave it as is. Now, when we come up to our next blue mod, this one has already hit 8. That's obviously why it is in this position. It probably hit 8 speed as a green mod and is now in the blue category. Now, for me, for it to pass the blue category to upgrade it up all the way up to purple, it has to have at least 10 speed as a secondary. And I will add this caveat in. I don't care if it's 2 hits or if it's 3 hits. You can see here that this one is a 2 hit. It only has 2 of these, and that's typically better. The less hits it has for the higher amount of speed, the better, because that means you have a larger potential. Quite frankly, a mod that has 10 speed that has 3 hits really doesn't have the highest potential out there. But again, I don't just want the plus 25s. I want the plus 20s. I want the plus 15s. I have a large roster. I have a lot of needs. I know anyone out there who has been going after the light speed bundles is also really feeling the mod crunch. I'm not just in it for those top end mods. A lot of my characters are going to ultimately need mods across as far as things go. So again, if this one can hit 10 speed, we take it up. If it hits 9, depending on where your roster is, you might not want to sell it immediately if you're at a mod deficit. But ultimately, it's not a higher candidate to take up. So again, maybe keep it, throw it on a character you don't use as much, just so they have a mod in general, but don't keep upgrading if it hits under the 10 threshold. Now, if you do hit the 10 threshold as a blue mod, definitely go up to purple, and then you only want to go above purple to gold if you have 10 speed, and this is where the rule is going to change a little bit. A little bit of a reminder, when it's a blue mod, we are willing to take it higher if it has 10 speed, if it's 2 or 3 hits. For the purple mods, we only want to take it higher if it has 2 hits for 10 speed, because at this point we know that we're going to have to put a significant amount of investment into it for it to yield a higher speed. And at purple, if this already has 3, let's say, bad hits at 3 speed or 3 or 4 speed, and it's all the way up to 10, and if I slice it again, I might have a gold mod that is already capped at 13 speed or so, and I'm gonna have to start dipping into 6D resources, which are much more expensive than these current ones that I kind of just have hundreds of all over the place. That is a little bit different than the blue mod, because if it were to hit, again, a crummy speed, let's say up to 13 here, then I have potential to actually have it be over 15 or maybe within the range of 20, even just while being at a gold mod. So again, both of these you do want to have 10 before you take them up to the next level. The blue mods have a little bit more flexibility. You can have either 2 or 3 hits here just because they have more room before the investment gets really heavy. The purple mods, they really need to have 10 speed based off of 2 hits, because if you are going to take them on in the long run, they need to have better potential than, say, the blue can. Next up, we are going to be talking about when to upgrade the gold mods, and these ones are going to vary just a little bit differently than the others. And the reason why is because you are never going to get more than 1 speed when you make the upgrade from 5A up to 6E. That's just how the system is built. It is capped at that. Really, the reason you typically take these mods up is because both the primary and some of the secondaries can get some really nice boosts. This is actually a really great example, the one we have here on Zombie, where the defense will go all the way up to 20%, as well as the offense will just about triple, if I remember correctly, giving a nice boost there to an attacker. So the question becomes, if we're looking at speed, I only want to take mods up to 6E specifically for the purpose of speed if they already have 15 here on 3 hits at least. Obviously, you want to take up your mods that have 4 hits, that are at 20 first and whatnot, but that is the absolute lowest I will go. Anything higher, obviously take it, but if it has 14 speed just like this mod, or 13 or 12 based off of 3 hits or whatever it is, I do not take it any higher unless it has some other stat here that I really do enjoy. So that kind of sums up how we want to do things before we get to 60. And now 60, this is going to actually be a little bit different than most people out there just because of where my mods are currently at. Once they get to the 6D process, having at least 3 slices on 16 speed, because if it had 15, we upgraded it to 16 now, I will upgrade it all the way up. And that is just a little bit representative of where my roster is. For each and every player out there, you're going to have to pick and choose when you do this and how you do this. I'm guessing the thresholds are going to start significantly higher for you. They're probably going to be something around 19, 18, 17, and all the way down to 16. I personally do not intend on ever going any lower, just because the amount of mods that I'm facing right now that are kind of in this position of Night Scissors Zombie are really high, so it's going to take me even longer to get to that new threshold, and I actually still am farming up new mods, so I don't see that changing anytime soon. But this is the bare minimum. Again, adjust it for yourself as to what you can do. And if you're looking for tips out there on calibration, I will go ahead and put in the description below a video where we talked about the filters on what I use to be able to find those that need calibrated in the best way possible. So again, quick review. If it's a gray mod, any amount of speed goes, just slice it up. If it's a green mod and you're looking just for speed, it really needs to have at least 7 total. If you're on a blue mod, it needs to have at least 10. It can be 2 or 3 hits. It doesn't really matter. I'm not that picky about it. If it's purple, it can have at a bare minimum 10 speed, but if it does have the bare minimum 10 speed, it really just needs to be 2 hits, because you're going to take it up higher and it needs to have higher potential. If it does have, say, 14 speed over 3, that's also great. Keep taking those up. The gold mods, they need to have at least 3 hits of at least 15 speed to be taken up to the higher level. And then again, my current position is anything that has 3 hits of 16 speed or higher, I will keep taking up. Adjust that to your preference and your flavor, whether it be 3 hits at 18 is your bare minimum, or you might even be starting completely just on the ones that have 4 hits and 20 speed. Again, adjust as needed. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay awesome.